Okay, let's take a look. What's happening for this FOMC? Need to find the stream for the Fed.
Setting the overnight reverse repo rate to the bottom of the
What's happening,
fund's
guys?
target range. So,
What's happening?
yeah, I mean, I don't think we're getting anything too crazy in here. If I see anything that really stands out, I'll
Just
let
waiting
you
for the
guys
Fed to
know.
come live. Brian
So,
says, "Big
yeah,
ups,
and then the
JD. What's
market-
happening, my bro? How you doing?
Okay, before we get into
Who's in the
GameStop
chat
here,
right now?
this is what the
Who's
Nasdaq
in the
did
chat right now?
just now at 2 o'clock. So nothing.
Come say hello in the chat,
Absolutely
guys.
nothing. Positively nothing. Now GameStop early on, and we talked about this at the lesson of the day. Tune in at lunchtime, and I was discussing
If you're in
maybe
the
the
live stream
reasons
right now, drop
why.
a like on the live. Drop a like on the live.
Despite the fact this 30-30 trade being a good one, it should have been obviously a 29.80 breakout, a dip into VWAP early, certainly in here at $29.50. Like, let's.
No idea what they're saying now. There's some more Pentagon news. Streamed 11 days ago. Streamed 2 months ago.
Is this. Combining creativity with entrepreneurship is emerging as a powerful driver for innovation and business growth, validated by studies and top CEOs. Creative entrepreneurs
Okay,
bridging the gap
so
between visionary ideas and practical business execution are
guys, can
proving
someone find the
invaluable for
link
fostering
to the
empathy,
FOMC
efficiency, and
for me?
improved collaboration within companies. Embedding creative talent in leadership roles is not just beneficial, but necessary for organizations aiming to excel in today's competitive market, leading to superior financial performance and shareholder returns. Sometimes we think that leaders only should know math or numbers or this, that, or the other. Thank you for that vote of confidence, that thumbs up. But I think what Siobhan is telling us is that indeed we need creativity, Mika. We need creativity. It's important as well. In our leaders, if they're just analytical people, where's the human dimension? Where's the human element? Where are the people that are going to create the next Legos? The people to create the next Tesla? It takes creativity, and it's okay to have in
What's
leadership
happening,
positions
Ritesh? How you doing, bro?
creative people. Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky once asked, of the 500 companies in the Fortune 500, how many of them are run by creative people? He noted that he might be one of the only Fortune 500 CEOs who's a designer by trade. And his creative advantage, honed through his design background, shapes how he runs the $88 billion global home sharing enterprise. Creativity in the bottom line. A study by the global management consulting firm McKinsey and Company established a quantitative measure of creativity to examine the relationship between creativity and business performance. Check this out. The results of that study showed that creativity is strongly correlated with superior business performance, specifically better financial performance, innovation, and growth. Listen, I'll talk about
Gift
myself
says,
and my
yo,
own
my
journey.
people. What's happening,
I'm not the
Gift? What's
smartest
happening,
cookie in
Lil?
the room. Math is not my strong point. I'm not very analytical. I'm not very detailed. But I must say, the creative side of my brain, the creative side of how I roll and what I do, that's enabled me in many ways to be
Bitcoin
who
is
I
just
am today and to
flirting,
build and
flirting,
manifest things.
flirting with
It depends on what
92,
you want to do.
500.
Hey,
Just keeps
Alexandria,
flirting here.
glad you're
It's
here today,
bouncing, coming
Alexandria,
down,
on the
bouncing, coming
Rundown with
down.
Ramon. Thanks for being here. So as you're looking at staff, as you're looking at teams, you're looking for those who can up level your business.
So gold's kind
Look
of
towards
painted the
creative
picture
people.
of we're going to
Don't
drop
leave
to we're
them
going to push
out. In fact, embrace them
to now
and make
dropping.
sure they're a big part of your team. Jensen, make sure they're a big part of your team. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon.
So
Ding, ding, ding,
with
ding,
the
ding,
dollar,
ding.
it did push
Hotel
inside the 1
employees
hour
share the
imbalance and then
7
dropped
red
off.
flags
But
to
now
look
we've just
for when
continued pushing
checking
higher.
into a hotel.
To be honest,
I travel
this
around
guy,
the
I don't know
world.
what the
I've
hell
been
he's
to many,
saying.
many hotels.
Guys, can someone find the stream for the FOMC today? Or maybe it might not be on right now. Can someone find the stream and then send it to me inside the Telegram? Because all I see here is a bunch of other people's live streams, but I don't actually see where the Fed, unless it maybe it's on Bloomberg. So let me check Bloomberg live.
Economic Policy at Veda Partners, joining us from Jacksonville, Florida. Henrietta, so great to have
Usually the Fed
you
starts
here. Love
speaking, you
listening to
know,
you really
like
join
maybe
the
10
surveillance
minutes
team.
into
Tell
7
us
or
about
like
these
quarter past
proposals,
7.
your take, and what the implications could
But let's
be
see.
for U.S., the trade picture for our economy. What are your initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts are, everybody should be taking these tariffs very seriously, especially the China tariffs. I think they sound a little less bad than they ultimately will be. I mean, let's recall.
All right, guys, everyone inside the live stream right now, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think there's a lot more of you now than there was during the day. Maybe you guys are off work and whatnot, so you can definitely jump inside the live stream. Whilst you're here, drop a like on. Drop a like on the live. If you enjoy this type of content, more of this content is provided inside of my free Telegram. Link to the free Telegrams in the description box down below.
$200 billion or more than that on a lot of things that we buy at the grocery at big box retail stores, flat screen TVs, things like that. Those tariffs are already on at 25%. So this would hike it further to 35%. With China, the biggest unknown and I think the biggest fear.
Let's see if maybe we can catch something on gold. Maybe, to be honest, Euro USD
worth of everything that you
AUD,
buy at the
USD,
grocery
they've kind of
store,
all left.
from
Even
a
where's
scented
GU?
candle to a milk product,
GU.
powdered milk, things
There's a
along
little
those lines.
setup
And
here
those
as
have
well.
never been tariffed before, largely because
Right,
they're so regressive
and that
and
setup is right
consumer
here.
facing. And those would start
There
off
was a
under
slight
with
setup there
President
on
Trump's
GU.
tweet at 10% next year.
You know,
Okay, well,
whilst we
Henrietta,
were
I
on
want
the
to bring
live
in
stream
some breaking
earlier,
news. The president-elect
there
has
was that
voted to
last
name,
pullback here that,
Kevin
you know,
Hassett
gave
to lead
the
his
drop
National
down lower.
Economic Council. It's a role
Even for
spearheading
AD
the new
USD, that was the
administration's
last
tax
move
trade
as well.
and spending agenda. Bloomberg News reporting this
So,
according to people familiar with the matter.
in terms
Remember,
of the rest of
he also backs
today,
the Republican slate of tariff
let's not
proposals.
get
He was the
too
chair of the
greedy.
Council of Economic Advisors during President Trump's
Let's
first
not get too
administration.
greedy.
So anyone who paid attention from 2016 to 2020
We'll definitely
is
find
familiar with
something,
Kevin
of
Hassett.
course.
The appointment will not become
But
final until it's announced by Trump.
let's just take our time.
What are your thoughts on this? What do we know from
Loyal
his
says
role
in the
in
chat box,
2016 and during Trump's
what's the
first
best
term,
broker in your
how
opinion?
he could
I mean, I
implement
don't think
tariffs
any
this time
broker
around, or
is
what
the
it means for
best, bro.
economic policy?
And we
It
know
just
he backs
depends
the
on what you
Republican slate of
like.
tariff
So, you know,
proposals, so
some
he seems to
brokers,
be
they
all in
don't
on
offer
this.
certain asset classes that you
Absolutely.
may want to
Kevin
trade,
Hassett
or
definitely in on this.
maybe their
I would say
commissions
this is
might be
very
higher than
MAGA universe,
another
tariff
broker.
universe,
So, you know,
strong
essentially your job
policy
is to
announcement,
find
personnel announcement. When
the
I think
best
of
broker
NBC
that fits your
director
needs,
going into
right?
next
You
year, the
might be
first thing
someone
I
that
think
looks
of
for
is
really
this is the
super
kind of
tight
person
spreads.
who
So
would
maybe
encourage
someone like
the
IC
House and Senate
Markets.
Republicans to
You know,
include
they've got
tariffs
the
in their tax
tightest
bill.
Euro
And
USD
that is
spreads
something
I've
that I think is a
seen
real
ever.
long shot.
Like,
All the farming state senators have a
there's
real problem
barely
with
a
this,
spread
and
over
all the
there. Do you understand
specific
what I mean?
members, the
So
individual states who
it
don't
all
like
depends on
tariffs
what you need,
as
you
a
know?
general U.S.
Maybe you want a
policy.
higher leverage,
But this
and maybe
suggests to
one
me that
broker
he'll be
offers you
working most
more of a
closely
higher
with
leverage
lawmakers,
than
especially on
another
the House
broker,
side, which is a more generous
you know?
approach to the Trump
So to kind of give you an
administration,
answer
the
on that
Trump
question is a
agenda,
little bit
than the
difficult, my
Senate
bro.
Republican conference. So look for Kevin Hassett to be somebody who coordinates more than, say, a Lutnick or Besant on actually writing the tax bill next year. And then obviously having a cadre of control over tariff policy outside of Congress, within the White House, executive orders, things along those lines. That is a very strategic placement, and I think he will be integral into the tariff role. I think the most important person to wait for is still Bob Lighthizer, but this is an indication that the tariffs are very real.
Hey, listen, Henrietta, what I'm wondering is we start to get ideas of what, especially the Trump team, when it comes to economic policy, trade policy, what it looks like. Are we increasingly building an isolationist policy for the United States, an anti-growth policy, which was kind of the antithesis when he got elected, because I think everybody thought ease and regulation, great for the business environment, you know, pro-growth policy. How are you gaming that out?
Yeah, I don't see any of that in a whole bunch of different avenues. And I would start with, you know, they talk about deregulation spurring exhaustive economic growth. And then they also talk about trimming $2 trillion or 3% of federal spending to generate budget savings and otherwise reduce the deficit. That's definitely not going to happen when you need 60 votes in the United States Senate. And then you also have this idea of a tax bill that is $4.6 trillion just to keep things static. That's not including new tax rate reductions for either corporations or individuals. And then you layer on the inflationary tariffs of 25% on Canada and Mexico, our biggest trading partners, as you point out, and then 10% across the board on already high tariffs against China. And we haven't even heard about his policy on the EU yet, which I think could result in auto tariffs as early as March 31st.
Anyone or everyone inside this live stream, if you've got a question, just let me know. Just let me know.
Go ahead.
There's just a lot there.
There is, and I'm glad you mentioned the auto tariffs because that's exactly where I want to go. But also the broader market reaction, Henrietta. I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised.
Let me know if you guys got any questions.
By the equity market reaction to this news last night, I expected to log in and see that stocks were down today as a result of this. Yes,
you see for Bitcoin, right?
Lower as a result of
to be honest, I low-key want to set
hit by auto tariffs.
Like a buy limit,
in the equity market today?
right? Something like a buy limit on the daily time frame.
Before. I mean, there's a
Right,
misunderstanding
something
I
like
think, between
this.
what has happened and what people expect from Trump.
Have,
They
let's
see
just
this
say,
as
a
posturing and not serious.
300 pip
But
stop.
point me to a
Right,
tariff that
give
he
yourself a
has not
300
actually
pip
imposed.
stop.
Point me to a tariff that hasn't
And
been
then
on
target
for months, if not
100K.
years. And in the case of China, 7 years worth of these.
To be honest, you don't even
they
need to
are
target
very
100K.
real.
You can probably
They
target
are not only real,
99,
they are a
800.
mandatory component of his economic agenda. When you try to pass a $5 trillion tax bill and say that you're going to get $1 trillion in revenue from tariffs, you must impose those tariffs to generate the revenue.
So
I think there's sort of willful disbelief.
Willful disbelief, or do you think the equity market has it wrong today and that he will follow through with tariffs such as these? Because that's what
I'm feeling for Bitcoin, guys.
I think that the market should be pricing in that these tariffs are very real.
Like the way
And
price just
later on,
keeps
a little bit
banging
later, I
out of
think
this
that this is
area,
gonna be
we
the
may
case with
actually
Canada
fail
and
for
Mexico, but
Bitcoin.
be mindful that it's not just a
Right?
one-time hit.
We
When
could
you're trading
fail
in an
this
auto
8-hour
vehicle,
area.
you cross
To
the
be honest with you.
Mexico and Canada border multiple times just for the same
Yeah.
vehicle. So is that 25% tariff on just one time? Or is it on every single time it crosses between the borders? Because that could be a 5 times event.
Hey, 20 seconds. Is this going to be a problem for the U.S. economy?
Absolutely, especially if List 4B goes into effect. It's a huge problem and very disruptive on the Canada and Mexico front, which are our largest trading partners.
All right, great stuff. Oh my God, wish we had more time. Please come back soon. Henrietta Treyes, co-founder and director of economic policy at the investment advisor and consulting firm Veda Partners, joining us here on this Tuesday.
Hey, the S&P 500 higher right now by, let's go ahead and round that up to 0.4%, as is the NASDAQ Composite. The Dow pretty much flat, but in the red, down by less than 0.1%.
All right, folks, you are listening and watching Bloomberg Business Week. Carol Massar, Tim Stanovic, still to come. Investors eating up the markets of obesity drugs on this Tuesday.
Guys, are you
Why
sure
put
there's
your tips there,
FOMC
Carol
minutes
Massar?
today? Because I'm not.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. Well done, well done. Details on Business Week.
It says at
continues on
7.
this
Yeah, it
Tuesday.
says at 7. We're gonna give it, maybe 7:30. The Fed might get on, but nothing's happening, guys. Nothing's happening. We've had a bit of a spike here on the EU, but we've just turned around, dropping again. Same there with the dollar. I mean, I guess we could get into another gold short. We've had a ceasefire in Lebanon. Alright, we've had a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, so gold may actually lose a bit of its steam for today. But let's see. To be honest, it's a much better idea to sell gold from higher rather from lower. Alright, we're gonna give it, up to 7:30. Yeah, if we don't see the Fed or hear the Fed speak, I'll probably just shut off this live for now. Yeah, market's not shifting at all. I mean, is the Fed speaking, bro?
And again, so let's look at to see if the rate decisions changed a little bit. So far, the
I see this guy's on live stream for the FOMC, but I don't see any FOMC. I think this might be a dud. In any case, Bloomberg should at least, in the very least, right? Bloomberg should at least, in the very least, show us something if the Fed is going to speak. So I'm gonna have Bloomberg on in the background, and then we'll see what happens.
The Dow now lower by 27, down by about 0.1%. NASDAQ up 57, up by 0.3%. The 10-year 4.31%. The 2-year 4.27%. Gold lower a little change, down 50 cents the ounce.
Have you guys managed to find the Fed live stream maybe? Because I definitely haven't.
Intermediate crude down 0.6%, 68.55 a barrel. The crypto exchange Kraken is shutting down its
So guys, look, to be honest, this week I didn't notice we had Thanksgiving, and yeah, I didn't notice we had Thanksgiving this week. So essentially it's a half week, right? We've only got Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. That's it. That's all we got, because on Thursday is Thanksgiving. So markets are not really going to move much without the dollar. And on Friday we have an early close at 1 for United States again. So
What record would that be, Charlie?
don't think we're going to get much this week. So at least we caught a little short today.
It does indeed. It's definitely
We'll
so
definitely
far.
go ham for tomorrow.
All right,
See if we
Charlie
can,
Powell, thank you so much.
maybe
Do
get
wanna
2
point out that we are
trades, or
expecting,
find
some
2
remarks from
opportunities.
President Biden,
That's probably why the markets
so
have,
as soon as he
let off a
begins
lot of steam
speaking,
today.
we will take
You
you
know,
there.
we've
He's
had quite a
expected to,
move
make
even
some
when we
remarks
look at
from the
Monday.
restaurant before he,
Where's Monday?
leaves for the
Monday we had a
Thanksgiving
move
holiday.
high.
So again, a lot
We had
going
a
on around
test
the world.
there,
As you know, we're watching the
and
Middle
then we
East.
continue to drop
So
lower,
we'll see whether or
closed off
not,
the gap.
the president has some
Tokyo,
comments on
we
that and
pushed up
elsewhere, but we'll
higher.
take you there to DC
Right,
right
tomorrow
after
is
this.
CPI, so it's
Well,
going to
the
be a big one
markets,
anyways.
We're watching shares of drug makers, including Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly. They make products such as
But
Wegovy, Ozempic, and Zepbound.
it's a bit
They're
odd. It's
rallying
a bit
today.
odd.
The Biden administration proposing a rule
Gold's
would
barely
require
moving.
the U.S. government to cover weight loss
Bitcoin's
drugs,
continuing to
potentially
drop.
expanding access for millions
You
of
know, it
Americans
does
with
look like it's a
obesity,
better option to
including a
look at the
huge new
lower
medical bill for
price.
Donald Trump. So let's get to the story. We got John Tozzi with us. He's Bloomberg News healthcare reporter. He joins us here in the Bloomberg Business Week studio. So, John, this is a very expensive proposal here. What are the numbers that we're talking?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, I think it's in the neighborhood of 25 billion over 10 years on the Medicare, to expand Medicare coverage of these drugs. Now, that is a big number. It is in context. Medicare will spend 2.1 trillion on prescription drugs in that period. So it's a relatively small portion of the total spending.
Okay, but that's only part of the story here, because at least the folks in the administration, they say, okay, yes, it's a big upfront cost, but this will essentially pay for itself and more as a result of what these drugs are supposed to do, right?
Well, that's one theory. I don't think, to be clear, I don't think anybody is claiming that these drugs will pay for themselves, right? I think there are a couple of different ways you can look at it. One is that the benefits from these drugs.
Yeah, I thought gold would definitely be doing something. For sure, for sure.
People live healthier lives. They will prevent potentially worse health outcomes down the line in terms of diabetes or stroke or cardiovascular disease. But all that is sort of like very uncertain, I'd say, right? So when the government's actually kind of like doing its cost estimates on this rule, they're not actually counting any of those sort of future offsets from the cost. They're just kind of looking at how many people do we think would take these drugs and what will it cost.
John, did you get the memo? It's, these drugs are going to solve everything that ails us. I mean, we've joked with, I think you and also Madison Muller, who covers it as well, and it's just like it seems every couple of weeks there's something new, right, that they're finding that by taking these drugs, and maybe it just speaks to being less heavy is a good thing for our overall health.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the argument that the Biden administration is making here. They're saying, traditionally, Medicare is prohibited from covering weight loss treatments. They were sort of seen as, a
with the tensions
lifestyle,
between NATO, Russia, and Ukraine,
problem. And
I thought
Congress
gold might
actually
do something.
kind
I
of
mean, mainly because of the
barred Medicare
FOMC,
from
you know,
paying
but
for drugs like
I
these.
guess
And the Biden administration
not
says
going
it's
to
operating under a new interpretation
we're not going to get much.
of
But we
that
got 4
law, and
minutes.
they're
We'll give it to
saying, you know, the
7:30.
medical evidence
I
has sort
doubt
of
we're going
evolved.
to
There's
see
a
anything
growing
happen, because if
understanding
we haven't
and
seen from
acknowledgement
7
that
anything
obesity
happen,
in itself is a disease that can be treated.
but we'll
Not
remain
everybody
patient.
believes in these drugs as a tool to do this. Namely, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who could be the next Secretary of Health and Human Services if he's confirmed. He says that basically diet and exercise, good old-fashioned diet and exercise, can actually do a better job than these drugs. How are you thinking about this and covering it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to wait to see, you know, first of all, if he's confirmed, and then kind of what, you know, what the policy of the Trump administration is when they take office. But yeah, certainly in his public statements, RFK Jr. has been skeptical of the benefits of these medicines, and more focused on, you know, improving diet and exercise, promoting healthy foods, removing ultra-processed foods from the food supply. I think, you know, a lot of medical experts would say, you know,
Okay,
no
what
argument
I'll
with
do
those
is
other
give you guys this
points,
setup
right?
here
Like,
for gold.
you know, doctors have been saying for a long time, yes, diet and exercise.
Okay, so
You know,
this is
we're
a
at
short
point where
setup for gold.
40% of the U.S. population is obese. Diet and exercise were always sort of tools in the toolbox. I think that the case for these medications is,
Let's give it 30
you know,
pips.
for people.
Okay, so this is the
who
setup I'm going to leave
are,
you guys with.
you know,
where you can
still,
target.
you know, still obese and
The main target is
need help.
actually
Can I ask you something? So
the
what
main target is
exactly
going to be the
President
most
Biden
recent low,
proposing?
but
Like,
we can
are
target
these
the
drugs
low that was
already
formed earlier
covered
on
under
today.
Medicare if you are
And
diabetic and
you
so
know,
on?
the
Like, help me
overall
understand
target can
exactly
be
what's being done, and
the low of the
you
week
know,
so
is it
far.
something Biden gets done on
Okay.
his way out the door, or it's
So
not
I'm going to leave you
Yeah,
guys
it's a
with
good
that
question.
setup.
So, and
We'll
there's
see.
a couple
To be honest,
comments.
this is not
The
anything
similar
that I
medications
will
for
take or I
diabetes
will
are
call out
already
just
covered
because
in
it's not
Medicare,
highly
right?
probable.
So these are drugs
But
like
I'm not
Ozempic,
seeing
which the
anything
primary
happen. I'm not
indication is
hearing
diabetes,
anything
right?
from the
Ozempic
Fed.
while it causes
There's no
weight
Jerome
loss,
Powell
it's meant to
activity,
be
so
prescribed for
you know,
diabetes, right?
I don't like
Its
the
counterpart,
chances with this setup. But
Wegovy,
just so that you know,
is,
for you guys that have joined me
for,
today, I'm going to give you guys at least a setup to look
obesity,
out
right?
for,
And so that's the
and see how
distinction
that kind of
Medicare has
progresses.
traditionally
But
not been
that
able
is
to
the setup
cover
I'm giving you
the
guys. Yeah.
obesity indications, except in cases where people have maybe other health complications, cardiovascular disease, where they've shown some benefit. So there is, we should say, a population of people on Medicare who already have access to
I see.
these.
This
or
push-up
related
is
drugs.
very, very
What
strong.
the Biden administration is doing is expanding the population.
Let's take a look at how
of
this
people who are
candle is going to
eligible.
close.
It is not a done deal. It is a proposal.
Let's see how this
that
candle's going to
will
close, guys.
Be in the Trump administration's court in a few months to decide whether they
You
want
know,
to
here's
continue it or
the
rescind
thought
it.
So does that mean
process.
it's a moot
Okay.
point here? I mean, the Bloomberg
The
Intelligence
reason why I'm
analyst, you and,
potentially
Madison
anticipating
spoke
some
to for this
shorts.
story,
Obviously, we had the
Dwayne
move
Wright
down
said that
earlier.
the proposal isn't
We had a
expected to be
pullback. We had
finalized
another short.
until April of
We
this
came,
year.
played
By
into this
April
15-minute
of
up
this
candle,
year,
and we've
we're
had
going to have
another
a different
drive down lower.
president
Now,
and
this drive down lower
likely,
hasn't
depending on how the cabinet
taken out any most recent
confirmations
low,
go,
but
a completely
you know,
new
this pullback could be
administration.
that
Yeah, I
potential,
mean, I think
you know,
it
pullback
does
to
set
take
up
out the
kind of an
most
interesting
recent
question
significant
for
low.
incoming
Okay,
administration, right?
so
These are,
that's the reason for this setup
you know,
here.
these are drugs that people want to take.
On the
They
1
have
minute, we have a
proven
balanced
benefit.
price range inside of
They're
here.
also pretty high
We
cost,
also have
right?
high, low,
So,
high,
you
lower,
know,
low.
they
So we've
were-
had a
they
slight
would
break
be, I
of
think,
structure
fully
on
within
that
their
lower time frame as well.
power
So
to, you know, to
if
say,
I had
no,
to
this is
kind
not
of
our
go off of
policy, we're not
any
gonna
sort
do
of
it.
setup
On
or
the other hand,
sell,
there might be political
this is
consequences to
all,
that.
you know, I would
So we'll
use
just have
for
to
now.
see, you know, what
And
they decide.
as
I don't,
it's
I don't know that there's
7:30
firm,
and
you
we
know,
don't
that anyone
hear
can
anything,
predict right now, one way or another.
that's
whether
so
this will
strange.
survive.
But and who ultimately decides whether or not it extends the coverage of these drugs? Is it
That is so strange. Absolutely nothing. Anyways, so this setup is currently in motion. Do you know what would be so funny, guys? This actually flies all the way down to TP. But look, I'm gonna bless you guys from the live stream with this setup, and I think I'll probably just call the live stream there because there's no reason for us to kind of stay on the live stream right now, you know? We'll definitely go tomorrow for CPI. CPI is going to be a huge one, so let's go again then, yeah? I'm going to leave you guys. Are we going to get a move here? Let's see. Let's give it a couple more. Let's give it a couple more minutes. So when prices in drawdown, let's see if I can give you guys a little bit of a learning opportunity, right? So the last two 1 minute candles, like this one here, this is decent, right? Decent price action. It looks very likely that we're going to get prices continuing to move down lower. I don't want to see any engulfing candles in the opposite direction. So right now we've just had this 1 minute engulfing candle here. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this still can't drop, because it still can, but we're starting to lose the efficacy and the likelihood of price actually going in our desired direction. Okay, so and this is what I look for if I potentially want to close a trade early. But to be honest, guys, if I'm wrong on a trade, I'm just wrong. It's that simple. The only thing I'll do most of the time, as you've seen, is move my SL to entry, or preferably into a little bit of profit. Even if you put it 4 pips, 5 pips into profit. Do you know what I mean? But essentially, that's it. You know what? To be honest, guys, we just don't need to sit here and watch this dead price action from gold. But it does look like we'll hit ourselves out of this. So yeah, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for CPI. CPI is going to be huge. Core price index for the dollar. And to be honest, tomorrow is going to be the last day of the week that we can most likely trade, just due to the fact that there's Thanksgiving later on in the week. So yeah, it's definitely one to not miss, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.